So the Bible is one of the most popular books of all time. Fun fact, it's also one of the most stolen books of all time. Who would steal a Bible? There's one thing about the Bible. All the people that have Bibles or know about the Bible but maybe haven't read it, it has led to a lot of people, and I mean a lot, using the Bible the wrong way. If you're going to start reading the Bible, the best thing you can do early on is to learn how not to read the Bible. Did you know that throughout history, people have taken Bible verses and have used them to say things about God that God really didn't mean to say? For example, a long time ago, people took certain descriptions of earth to mean that the earth was actually flat. Based on... Okay, here's a crazy one. People actually used Bible verses to say that slavery was something God was okay with. There's even groups of religious people that will use Bible verses to say God actually hates a group of people. I know that these things sound ridiculous, but how does this happen? How does somebody read the Bible and actually take it out of context to mean something that God didn't mean at all? This is where we get into how not to read the Bible. 1, do not read it out of context. Every single word in the Bible is surrounded by a bunch of other words. And those words are put into paragraphs, and those paragraphs are put into chapters inside the books of the Bible. And those books in the Bible fit into the overall story of the Bible. To understand the Bible, we have to understand how it fits in with everything else. So if we read a verse like, "For God so loved the world," does that mean that we're talking about the earth, or does it mean that we're talking about God loved the people? There's an important difference. It changes the entire verse. But when we know how to read the Bible, we can read the rest of the verse and realize that God is actually talking about people, that whoever believes in him will not perish. So God's not talking about the earth or the globe. He's actually talking about the people. This is what people do wrong all the time that mess up Bible verses. Number 2, don't keep it to yourself. When the Bible was originally written, people couldn't read it by themselves. I know that probably sounds weird to you because we have so many different Bibles. Bible on our phone, you can get a free Bible at church. There are a lot of Bibles and you can pretty much read it whenever you want. When the Bible was first written though, people had to memorize it and learn it, and they actually studied the Bible in large groups of people. That meant they just couldn't come up with their own thoughts about a Bible verse, that there was going to be other people there talking about it too. So when somebody would read a verse like, "They will pick up snakes with their hands, and when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. Please don't pick up the snakes." Somebody could be there to tell them that they're not actually interpreting the verse correctly. And don't drink poison. It's bad for you. Number 3, don't believe everything you hear. People say crazy things about the Bible all the time. And in fact, I'm okay with you not even automatically believing what I'm saying, or what a pastor says, or what a writer says. Do the research, look it up, and see if what they're saying is true. In the book of Acts 17:11, there's a great picture of a group of people who embraced these do nots. They were a group of early Christians who read the Bible and made sure that they weren't taking things out of context. It was a group of people who studied the Bible together and kept each other on track. And so when Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, was teaching them, Acts says, "Now the Berean Jews were of more noble character than those in Thessalonica, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true." Paul was teaching them about Jesus every day, and they would eagerly listen, but they checked everything that he said to see if it was true. And Paul wrote most of the New Testament. If we want to know what the Bible means, we have to understand what is meant. That means for you, learn to listen to what God is teaching you. Learn to listen to what he's saying to you, and talk to other people about it. Ask questions about it. Don't just listen to people. Talk about the Bible and ask questions. But when that starts to happen, God's words will change you. It won't just be about the verses and the numbers and the chapters. God's word will actually change you. It will remind you of who you are and who God is. If you started reading the Bible like that today, what do you think would change in your life?